Hello everyone, thanks for tuning into today's bird video. We're going to have a look at the weather for the next 10 to 14 days for today's bird video. So day 10 will take us to the 14th of April and we'll be able to extend out beyond that with the extended GFS and ECM ensembles, maybe on track a couple of weeks. We'll have a look at CFS V2 at the end of the video for the next 4 weeks, and that gets more or less to the end of April. I should get to that for you in a moment. Just say that first. Video releases our 6-7 UK weather forecast, and we'll also release the European Outlook as well. So check out those two vids if you'd like to do that. Like, share, and subscribe on all of today's videos and content. And thank you so much, everybody, for doing that. For GavsWeatherVids, hope you're having a lovely, lovely Thursday, everyone. I'm going to start off with century temperature. The CT is now sitting at 9.9, 10 degrees, which is 2 degrees above 61 to 99 average. That is provisional to yesterday, to the 3rd of April. So been a very mild, if not quite warm, start to the month. And set to stay that way as well. These are the GFS upper air temperature and precipitation ensembles the next couple of weeks. The red line is the 30-year upper air temperature average for Nottingham, something of above average at the moment. We've got a bit of a heat spike coming up at the weekend. Very briefly, we'll see a surge of warmth pushing up from North Africa and Spain, Portugal, for the first time this season, and that's going to deliver the temperature up to about 20, 21 degrees potentially on Saturday. Very quickly it comes back down again, by the beginning of next week it actually goes slightly below average, but not for long. Next week also looking pretty mild as well. So this looks like going to be a very mild, if not warm, start or first half to April. Precipitation wise, we see more precipitation as well, especially in the next week. But we may be seeing hints of a drying trend here around the middle part of the month and possibly going into the second half of April as well. Even the first part of the big graph. So this period here, probably not as wet as we have seen over the past several weeks and months. So we might be starting to enter into rather drier phase. We'll see. Temperature anomalies from the 4th to the 12th of April, going to be above average, a mild average week to come. Precipitation anomalies from the 4th to 12th of April, despite what I just said, I'm still looking wetter than north. So the next week is still quite unsettled. But I do think there is a bit of a drying trend there into the middle part of the month anyway. Alright, so this latest wind blow map from earthandlowschool.net is looking with between low pressure areas today. So we've got one low in the North Sea, another low in the Atlantic. We're kind of in between, but this next low will be on its way in later on this afternoon, into this evening and overnight. I've got Storm Kathleen coming up on Saturday, by the way. So despite that surge of warmth on Saturday, it's going to be associated with more low pressure. So this low just here, actually midnight on Sunday to the northwest of Scotland, that is Kathleen. And Kathleen's going to be giving us a bit of a blow over the weekend. So, going through the chart data, this satellite you can make your own run. It's looking big night on Sunday, deep low pressure to the northwest, bringing wet, windy weather, excuse me, sweeping eastwards across the country. But it will be mild, if not warm. Into next week, low pressure down towards the southwest. That could bring more rain into southern areas through the early part of the week. And then possibly by the middle of next week, a bit of a trend towards higher pressure starting to ridge up from the Azores into the south. But still with low pressure out to the northwest, so still rather unsettled, especially for more northern and western regions. Icon, again, looking very unsettled with Storm Kathleen over the weekend. Into next week, stays unsettled, certainly the early part of the week anyway, with more rain to come, especially in the south. And up to the middle of next week, actually just keeping the low pressure coming with Icon. So not much of a ridge from the Azores high up to the middle of next week there. The KMA from South Korea also keeping things very unsettled over the weekend and into next week. Then high pressure started to ridge up though from the Azores by about days 8-9. See much more influence from high pressure there before we go into a bit of a cold snap from the north as high pressure pulls out to our west through the 15th of April. And then the high pressure starts ridging back in again. Definitely more influence from high pressure there with KMA by the end of next week. So the GFS midnight road. Again, we've got Storm Kathleen just to our west-northwest. Midnight on Sunday, bringing lots of windy weather and there will be rain associated with that, of course. And we keep it unsettled through the early part of next week as well, for high pressure. For high pressure gradually starts reaching northward. So by day 10, the GFS midnight run has high pressure just around east, low pressure out to the west. Winds are coming up from like a southerly or a southeasterly direction. That should be quite a warm wind. So yes, by the middle of April, GFS midnight run is looking drier and warmer there. Again, not for long. Very quickly that gets flattened off. Low pressure comes back in from the Atlantic, and it's going to extend range with GFS midnight run. Well, always quite unsettled to the northwest, a little bit of influence from high pressure in the south, all looking rather flat and westerly, I have to say. And not completely settled, particularly so in the north. It stays a little bit changeable there. GFS 6 again with Storm Kathleen just around northwest, midnight or 6 a.m. on Sunday, keeping the unsettled weather going through the early part of next week as well, gradually trending towards higher pressure though by about days 8 and 9, or however by day 10 we're flattening that off again as low pressure comes back in from the Atlantic. Beyond that, so some high pressure into the south, something a bit drier there, low pressure away to the northwest, and very, very gradually the GFS 6 run does get us to higher and higher pressure, so that by the end of it, which is 20th of April, we are actually under a 1035 millibar area of high pressure, and so that should be mostly dry and potentially quite warm as well, you would have thought there. So we might be trending very gradually towards higher pressure with some of the model output today. If you're enjoying the video, please do like, share and subscribe. Make sure to everyone for doing that. Want to drop a comment let us know what you think about this and all of our videos and content. And don't forget to tell friends about GavsWeatherVids. Thank you so much everyone for doing that. We only need to put around 20 subscribers to get to 18.1k. So if you could give us a sub and tell your friends and family to subscribe, that'd be absolutely incredible. Thank you so much. Right, GM again with Storm Kathleen out to our northwest on Sunday, and then into the open part next week. Unsettled low pressure bringing plenty of rain with it. Middle to second half next week, high pressure builds to the south, probably dry things out for England and Wales, and should be quite mild if not relatively warm with a southwesterly flow, still unsettled though up to the north. And the GM also gradually trending towards higher pressure around days 8, 9, 10. So it brings quite a bit of dry weather to England and Wales and Ireland anyway. Scotland probably stays a little bit changeable. And, just gradual increase in pressure. Slowly but surely we're seeing heights beginning to rise and higher pressure getting a little bit more involved in the pattern here, even if we haven't got a definitive change yet to an actual area of high pressure. That's still eluding us a little bit through most of the model output today. And then the ECM again with deep low out to our northwest on Sunday. Of course being Storm Kathleen, and then into next week keeps it unsettled as well. Middle next week, gradually raising pressure to the south, so drying things out in the south, still probably a little bit unsettled up in the north. And the ECM also gradually, incrementally, slowly raising heights to the south of the country, lifting the jet stream and the areas of low pressure a little bit further north, so it still stays quite changeable for Scotland, but for Ireland, England and Wales, probably turns drier, and it should be relatively mild, if not quite warm, with that with that ridge, I suppose, I should say, down to the south. This is a precipitation forecast based on that ECM run from Meteo.com. Plenty of rain still to come over the next few days into the early part of next week. Right, so again, by the latter stages of next week, we're still pushing rain through here, actually. Though it is taking a long while to get anything more settled, but gradually see the rain starting to lift out into the northern half of the country anyway, as more southern areas turn drier. So by day 10, mostly dry for England and Wales, but still a little bit on the unsettled side for Scotland and Northern Ireland there. This is precipitation. No one talking about the sub table within the ECM ensembles today for day 10. Gets us to the 13th. Hold on, that's not right, is it? So gets us to the 14th of April from the Icelandic Met Office. 18 members of the ECM ensembles with low pressure to the north, high pressure is to the south, and winds are coming in from off the Atlantic in a westerly direction. That brings the driest weather to south, still a little bit unsettled though, to the north. 17 with deep low pressure right over top of the country, very unsettled. And 16 again with high pressure to the south and low pressure is to the north. Driest weather therefore will be the south. In 2 weeks' time, these are the options that we've got. Now it goes to the 19th of April, 11 members of the ECM ensembles with a mid-Atlantic ridge, a trough of low pressure to our east. Winds then will be coming in from a cool northerly type direction. We've got 11 with high pressure up towards Scandinavia and to our north, but also to the west as well. Probably some sort of upper level trough through there. Could still be a little bit showery. We've got 10 with high pressure ridging up from the southwest. That looks quite nice. That would be genuine spring warmth and mostly dry conditions away from the far north anyway. 7 though, more unsettled, low pressure to the north of Scotland, winds coming in from west northwesterly direction. Another 7, low pressure just to our east, again that probably brings in a rather showery northwesterly, and 5 with low pressure over and to the east of the coast. That could be rather cool and showery as well. So a range of options. I have to say most of them look a little bit showery and probably rather cool. So any change to high pressure around day 10 might not last all that long. But let's wait and see anyway. CFS V2 finally. These are 500 millibar high times bring down week periods. The first week period takes us from the 4th to the 10th of April. The next week is unsettled with low pressure out to the northwest and winds coming in off the Atlantic in a southwesterly direction. So still unsettled but mild. Week 2 will be, come on highlighter, week 2 will be the 11th to the 17th of April with high pressure from the south, low pressure's way to the northwest. That's going to be quite mild if not warm, but settling down, especially so in the south, which is much more in way of drier weather. Week 3 looks flat as a pancake. It's the 18th, 24th of April, low pressure to the north, high pressure is to the south, winds coming in from the Atlantic in a westerly direction, dries from south, a little bit unsettled in the north. And then week 4, this one's quite nice, it's 25th of April to the 1st of May. So we actually get to the beginning of May now with the CFS week clears. And high pressure ridging up from the south, so that should bring mostly dry and you think really quite warm weather northwards with it. So yeah, that could actually be like a taste of early summer there. Never mind spring, if that high pressure ridges far enough northwards. But it's 4 weeks away, so of course it's a long way off. Okay, we're done. If you've enjoyed the video, please can you like, share and subscribe. And show everyone for doing that. Want to drop a comment, let us know what you think about this and all of our videos and content. And don't forget to tell your friends about GavsWeatherVids. So should do that. We need to put on around 20 subscribers to get to 18.1k. So please give us a sub, and we thank you so much for doing that. So just tell you what's happening on the channel tomorrow. We're going to have a 6 AM UK weather forecast, JMA Friday, and a 10 to 14 day as well. So keep checking back to the channel for all of the content. And thank you so much for doing that. And we'll see you again very soon with more. But for this video, that's all for now. And thanks for watching. Bye for now.